How's it going on, everybody? Welcome to Python learning. Okay, mastering Python, a complete beginner to advanced guide. Yeah, so we'll be covering how to get started with Python programming, right? So as I have already given the introduction to Python as well in my previous section, you can go and watch, right? So what is Python? Python was conceived by Guido van Rossum in 1989, and in 1991 Python 0.9.0 released on alt sources, alt.sources, and in 2000 Python 2.0 released with list compressions, Unicode support. And in 2003 Pep 8 Python style guide published, and in 2008 Python 3.0 released with significant changes and backward compatibility breaks, and in 2020 Python 3.9 released with union operators for dictionary type hinting improvements, zone info module, and so on. This is the timeline of Python. Okay, so what is Python? Okay, so Python is a high-level general-purpose programming language. So its design philosophy emphasizes code readability, and it is easy, right? Yeah, its design philosophy emphasizes code readability with the use of significant indentation, right? So let me tell you something more about the Python as well, right? Python is dynamically typed and garbage collected. It supports multiple programming paradigms, including the structured, particularly procedural, and object-oriented and functional programming, right? It is often described as batteries-included language due to its comprehensive standard library. Guido van Rossum began working on Python in the late 1980s as a successor to the ABC programming language, and first released it in 1991 as Python 0.9.0. Python 2.0 was released in 2000. Python 3.0 released in 2008 was a major revision, not completely backward compatible with earlier versions, right? So Python 2.7.18 released in 2020 was the last release of Python 2. And Python consistently ranks as one of the most popular programming languages and has gained widespread use in the machine learning community. Python was conceived in the late 1980s by Guido van Rossum at Centrum Wiskunde and Informatics (CWI) in the Netherlands as the successor to the ABC programming language, which was inspired by Settle, capable of exception handling and interfacing with the Amoeba operating system. Its implementation began in December 1989. Van Rossum shouldered sole responsibility for the project as the lead developer until 12 July 2018, when he announced his permanent vacation from his responsibilities as Python's benevolent dictator for life, a title the Python community bestowed upon him to reflect his long-term commitment as the project's chief decision maker. And that's it. Okay, so as I mentioned before, Python is a widely used general-purpose high-level programming language. It was created by Guido van Rossum in 1991 and further developed by the Python Software Foundation. It was designed with an emphasis on code readability, and its syntax allows programmers to express their concepts in a fewer lines of code, right? Okay, Python is a programming language. Python is a programming language that lets you work quickly and integrate systems with more efficiently. There are two major Python versions, Python 2 and Python 3. Both are quite different. Beginning with Python programming, finding an interpreter. Before we start programming on Python, we have to have an interpreter to interpret and run our programs. There are certain online interpreters as well, which can be used to run Python programs without installing an interpreter, right? For Windows, there are many interpreters available freely to run Python scripts like idle, integrated development environment.coms, bundled with the Python software downloaded from python.org, right? For Linux, Python comes pre-installed with popular Linux distros. such as Ubuntu and Fedora. To check which version of Python you are running, type Python in the terminal emulator. The interpreter should start and print the version number. Okay, for macOS, generally Python 2.7 comes bundled with macOS. You will have to manually install Python 3 from the official website python.org. Okay, so writing your first program, let's begin, right? Okay, before diving into the programming world, let me tell you something about the reasons for increasing popularity of Python. First thing first, emphasis on code readability, shorter codes, and ease of writing. And secondly, programmers can express logical concepts in pure lines of code in comparison to languages such as C++ or Java, right? So C++ or Java has long lines of code, several lines of code, but in Python you can interpret your logical concept in pure lines of code. And thirdly, Python supports multiple programming paradigms like object-oriented, imperative, and functional programming, or procedural as well. So, fourth reason for its popularity is there exists inbuilt functions for almost all of the frequently used concepts, right? The last but not the least, fifth reason for its popularity is its philosophy. Simplicity is the best, right? Simplicity is the best.